What is going on, everybody? It's been a long time since I've been on here talking 49ers, but training camp is like literally days away. And I couldn't ask or think of a better person to have come on here and talk about 49ers training camp and all like the ridiculous news that's going on right now. The only person I could think of was Raj from RSF 49ers. Raj, how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Good. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling good. Yeah, training camp just around the corner. I can't wait. And just before training camp hits, we get a little bit of drama. We get a little injury news. Like, you knew you couldn't see all offseason. It was actually going pretty good, right? It was pretty good. And then boom, 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 bam, boom. And here we go. So we're going to talk about it today.
Yeah, let's get right into the situation that blindsided a lot of us yesterday. So they released the PUP list for training camp, correct? And of course, everybody knows that Brandon Aiyuk's going to be on there because that's like, a foregone conclusion. He's still recovering from his knee issue.
Yeah.
But they listed some other players, and one of the players that they listed was none other than our guy, Mr. Got shot last year, barely played, finally got a chance late in the season, Mr. Ricky Pearsall. We were talking off stream about how none of the beat guys seem to know what the hell was going on in 49er land, and this snuck up on everybody. Everybody's pissed. Not necessarily because he's hurt, but just that like this is the season that we really could see him make a difference on this offense, considering the situation with Brandon Aiyuk, and he's going to start the season or training camp on the PUP list.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a situation where he could come off maybe and come back in the preseason and hopefully get better. But the thing that I think is shocking, because he was supposed to be cleared for training camp. If you remember during minicamp and OTAs and stuff, Kyle Shanahan, he had a whole injury update. He went through it. He goes, let me give you some specifics. And he like mentioned all these players. And he's like, Ricky Pearsall, hamstring, he'll be cleared for training camp. Like he said, he'll be cleared for training camp. Boom, this news drops a few days before training camp. So it's like, is his hamstring worse than you guys thought? Is it something else? We don't know. And the problem with this is he's expected to have a huge second year. Like they're expecting a lot because you're right. Brandon Aiyuk, he's on the man. And there's other issues going on wide receiver wise. So it's like, okay, this guy's supposed to be the next guy to take that leap. And, they don't have Deebo Samuel. They got rid of Deebo. They're like, okay. And then they felt comfortable with doing that because they had Pearsall. That's why they drafted him last year. He was that insurance policy. First round pick. This is the first round pick you had in years. And I could see why people are upset. There's going to be people that defend it, say you can't be mad. You don't know how it is. And last year when he did come in, he played good. The last two games, he had like 14 catch. Like he has some, talent. He's a first round pick. He better be talented, right? But at the same time, there were some players on the board like Cooper DeJean that you could have drafted. I mean, you could play that game with any player you draft.
Every year. Yep.
At the same time, like this guy's supposed to be taking that leap. And if this hamstring injury lingers, or if it's something else and it lingers and he can't play preseason, is he going to be on the PUP when the season starts? That's the question. Now, maybe he just needs a little bit more time and he'll be cleared off the PUP list and get back into training camp, whatever. But if he's not and it lingers into preseason and then he can't make the team, then you missed a whole training camp, okay? And then if you start the season on the PUP list, you have to wait 4 weeks until you're cleared to get back on the list. So there's like that whole 4-week window. So right now it's like, okay, maybe it's not that big. Maybe he just needs a week or two. You can get cleared, come off, and go back to training camp or preseason, whatever. But if not, Aaron, then we're going to have a problem because this wide receiver corpse is thin, right? We got Demarcus Robinson, who's a veteran, but he's not a wide receiver one. He's coming in to be a veteran, wide receiver 3, and he might get a suspension. They haven't ruled yet. He might miss a few games. You got Jacob Cowing, who was a rookie last year, but is he going to have a big role? We don't know. And then you have Brandon Aiyuk, who's probably going to start the season on the PUP, and then he's going to miss some games. Now, he could come back for week 1, but I don't think they're going to rush it. And then you have Jordan Watkins, who's a rookie. You can't expect him to have like a huge season as a rookie because 49ers don't do that with the rookies. And then you got Mr. Jawan Jennings. And, we know about him. He wants his contract extension, even though he got extended last year. So it's like there's a lot of pressure on Ricky Pearsall. So this, out of all the PUP designations yesterday, that one was shocking. And I was like, oh, didn't see that one coming because Kyle told us he was going to be clear for training camp. So That's why it was shocking to me.
Man, I've been pretty positive this offseason too, man. Like I've really been trying to look. Last year was such a bummer that like, let the offseason happen, let everybody go away, let us enjoy our summer. We'll think about the 49ers in, late July like we're doing right now. And everything was going so well this offseason. And then to hear all this mere days before training camp, it's frustrating, man. It's just like like you said, there's so much pressure on some of these guys to be huge pieces on this team. There's so much promise, but it feels like every single year we run into the same issue. And one of the biggest ones is injuries, tons of injuries. The thing that gets me, and I was flipping out yesterday, and I haven't flipped out in a while, is how do you go away and come back with more injuries than you left OTAs with? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I know. It's crazy. Like
frustrating.
It's crazy because I it's so funny. We were talking about like the beat writers not know. Dude, I saw Cam Inman on his story post yesterday. He was like, I don't even know some of these injuries of these. Like, they don't even, like, these guys don't even know why these players are hurt. Like, we don't even know. Like, Ben Barch, okay? Everybody sits here and they want before training camp. And me and you talked. I remember on a stream. I think I was a stream with you, maybe.
Yeah.
Or Larry this offseason. Everybody's like, Ben Barch, he's going to. That's because it was after the draft and everybody's defending the Niners. Well, they didn't need a left guard. They got Ben Barch. This man has not been healthy his entire career. Even last year, he couldn't stay healthy. Like, yeah, he's talented, but Ben Barch has never been able to stay healthy. That was his knock. That's why Jacksonville got rid of him. This man is now on the PUP list to open training camp. Now, again, he might get cleared. He might come back, and it's just like it could be a minor thing.
I don't think he's on the PUP list. I think he's on the non-football
injury list.
Yeah. This man got hurt like taking a dump at home or something, like lifting himself off the toilet.
Oh, you're right. It was Ben Barch and George Odum, and then George Odum was released today. So
how?
Yeah, Ben Barch is on the NFI list. So it's like, how's he always hurt, bro?
What are we doing? How do we get hurt being at home? What happened? Like, oh my God.
And that's the thing, because everybody was hyping up Ben Barch, and I was like, pump the brakes. I said it. I remember, and people were like, you don't know ball, Rod. I said, I don't think he's going to start. Okay. He's not going to be a starter on this team because he can't stay healthy.
Yeah, man. It's funny. Like I was telling, like, I'm a naturally negative person. I'm a New Yorker. Like my perception of the Niners is always the glass is half empty more than half full. But this offseason has been so perfect up until this week. All of a sudden, we have all these issues with injuries, and now JJ wants to get paid. And I know some people, it might have been you. I might have been listening to your stream. You said, yeah, we'll take a trade for JJ if we get a third round. I don't know, bro.
At this point, no. And there's a comment here in the point. Ian Sharp says Jennings' leverage keeps increasing. And now with the Pearsall injury, I mean, again, some of these injuries we knew were going to be PUP guys, like Brandon Aiyuk, not worried. Malik Mustafa, we knew he was going to be on the PUP because he's got the ACL. Curtis Robinson, ACL. But then Ricky Pearsall is the one that kind of caught us by surprise because Al Shanahan said he was going to be cleared. So if you're Juwan Jennings, you're 100% taking advantage. And now, looking at the whole situation, a week ago, I was like, nah, man, he's taking advantage of the situation. We got Pearsall, whatever. Now we might not. So he's 100% looking at this. Him and his agent are like, bro, we got to take advantage of it. And I can't blame him for this. I can't blame Jennings because now you're going to be expected to be a top guy to get 100. He's probably going to get 100 targets this season, right? The way this is planning out. I guess he's at this time like, hey, if you're going to use me and abuse me, at least pay me a little bit more money. And now looking at it, bro, I can't blame him because, hey, if you're not going to pay me, trade me and figure it out with Jacob Cowing, Ricky Pearsall, and his hamstring? We don't know. And Brandon Aiyuk injured with his ACL. So it's like,
I feel like Jennings we're going through the Dante Pettis nightmare all over again, but instead it's Ricky Pearsall.
He has all the leverage in the world, Juwan Jennings.
I know. I heard you say during one of your last streams that if their trade was to be made, you would bring in someone like Amari Cooper. If I'm the Niners, I would bring him in.
I'd still regardless.
Bring him in now, anyways.
You need to bring him in. You need receivers now. You need Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper. Get whoever's available. Aaron, go get him because you don't have either. again, Pearsall might be able to come back, but we don't even know. The 49ers beat reporters, they don't know. Dave Lombardi, he don't know. Matt Miyoko, he don't know. None of them knew. It's
I
caught
thought
everybody.
these guys were like prophets from Bible time telling me the future. They don't know jack crap about nothing.
None of them. Their like tweets were like, "Oh, that's surprising," and that's like, if the 49ers reporters don't know,
How are you a beat writer for the team? You're in the
Oh my
facility
God,
all
dude.
the time, and you have no idea what's going on with these guys. I'm at a point right now, Raj. I'm just sick of the injury excuse. I'm so tired of it. It's such a tired thing to every single year. And we say this every offseason when the offseason, it's the healthiest he's ever looked. Trent Williams looks great. Yeah. And it's like March, right? He looks great. And we always preface it, everything we say is if we can stay healthy, if we can stay healthy. And sure enough, geez. Like, I don't know, man. The Ben Barch one really pissed me off. I saw that, and the first person I thought of was you, because we talked about, like, if you let Aaron Banks go, and I understand why you did, because you're not going to pay him. He wasn't worth the money.
Yeah.
But if your fallback plan is a guy that's never healthy, and this man gets hurt at home walking his dog,
we don't know. I mean, because NFI list, for those that don't, NFI, it's non-football injury list. It's basically an injury that happened away from the facility, not during football activities. I mean, he could have been doing football activity like training, but it's not a football related. They don't know if it's football. So what you're saying is it happens away from the facility. It happens at home. So yeah, in theory, he could be walking his dog and then he might twist his ankle or something.
My, oh my. Yeah, that's really the biggest thing that's concerning right now, more than anything. We could talk. I mean, there's not like a litany of news to talk about, but the biggest thing just going into training camp is just the fact that, like, I expected a lot of guys to be back healthy. I expected that PUP list to be relatively small.
Yeah.
Now,
couple things. So Debbie France, she says, Raj called the Barch injury. I told her, I said, I don't want to like gloat injuries, but I said it on a stream. I'm pretty sure with Larry Krueger we did. I was like, I don't think so, man. But anyways, another injury, this one, we haven't talked about it yet, but another guy that was on PUP list. And again, all these training camp PUP lists, like the good news about it, if there is good news about injury, they can be activated at any time during training camp and be activated back in. So it's like, they don't have to miss the 4 weeks. Like so that's what I'm saying. If it's minor, they can come back and be ready. But if it's not, and they hold them out, and then let's say they get placed on PUP when the season starts, that's when it's bad because they got to miss the season. So right now it's like, okay, whatever, let's wait for details. But the one that really is alarming to me, because this guy was hurt a lot last year, was Yetur Gross-Matos. Yeah. This man has been injured more than he's played for the 49ers. He had knee issues. And this is another guy, Kyle Shanahan. He said, he'll be ready for training camp. He said it was a minor knee. As a minor knee, he's on the PUP list. So maybe it wasn't as minor as he thought. That's the one thing. Kyle's not really transparent with injuries. The one injury that there's a guy that didn't get on the PUP list is Jair Brown, right? He had the offseason surgery. So is he cleared? It looks like he is. So that's good. But at the same time, you have guys like Yetur Gross-Matos who was supposed to be cleared, and now he is not clear. So these injuries are weird. They haven't even started training camp and you're popping up injuries. And again, I know there's PTSD. Niner fans are probably like, oh my God, because what happened last year? Half the team got hurt, man. And again, I know everybody wants to use the easy schedule as we're going to win 13, 14 games because the easy schedule. Guess what? The easy schedule is because we were bad last year and these teams improved, and not every game's easy. And you know how the 49ers play down to their opponents, and sometimes they lose games they shouldn't. So I'm not going to sit here and say, we're going to win 14 games because it's an easy schedule. That's not smart logic, man. You have to play every game 100%. And if a player like Ricky Pearsall is not there, let's say you get a massive injury and you don't have the depth to pick it up, you're going to be hurting. You're not going to be a great team. You're going to be one of those easy teams on the schedule for other people. And then the other thing, Aaron, is this team is very young. Like, yeah, I know we have great players, but what if we had 4 or 5 starters that are rookies? At some point, they're going to hit that rookie wall, man. And, again, Kyle Shanahan, he doesn't always play the young guys. Like Jordan Watkins, if he has to be wide receiver too, like how good is he going to be, So I love the players that they've drafted in the last 2 years, but you got to temper expectations because it's a very, very, very young team. And just because it's an easy schedule doesn't mean we're going to win every game. So Christine's
Christine
right. There's
says no
easy game.
easy game. No, like not if you're playing with fourth string wide receivers.
Yeah, exactly.
And second string left guard when the actual left guard that's the first string probably isn't even a second string. He's probably a rotational backup to a backup. Like that's how. I mean, the Niners are so thin on depth this year, and that was one of the topics that I wanted to ask you about. Is just one of the things that I think is super important in this training camp is going to be building that chemistry with this young defense.
Yeah.
This defense hasn't played together. They have no chemistry. It can be a good thing when a unit doesn't have any history because you can kind of go into things fresh and nobody knows what to expect from them. But at the same time, nobody knows what to expect from them. And that could be a negative too, because this isn't college. This is a National Football League. And now these guys are expected to be starter roles on a team that is expected to be a playoff team this year. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, like, there's a lot of pressure on this young unit.
Yeah.
And there's not a ton of depth behind them. We are thin across the board.
Yeah. Papa J says we have good depth, but I don't think they have starters in our depth just yet. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of good players out there. Like, potentially CJ West could be good. Upton stuff. Like, they could be good. They look great. Nick Martin. They passed. They look like they could be good. And of course, we're Niner fans, so we're going to wear the Niner goggles. We're going to be like, oh, they're all amazing. They're all great players.
Yeah, everybody looks amazing all the time. Yep.
Yeah, they all look great. But at the same time, they got to go out there and play on the field. We haven't really seen them play. Like, they could be good. They could be good if they lift their potential. I know we have a better defense coordinator. That's a great thing. But Alfred Collins, let's take Alfred Collins, for example.
Yep.
The guy didn't even go to OTAs or minicamp because, he had a calf injury and then he wasn't signed. He just signed. So I'm glad he did because now he's going to be there in training camp. He's going to be able to
so behind.
He's behind though. So he's got to catch up to everybody else, all the rookies. And how hard is he going to be able to work to, catch up to these guys? Is he going to work too hard that he re-injures himself? Like, I don't want to wish injuries, but I'm just saying, like, those are things that people don't always think about. And these guys have to really be up to speed because he was a second round pick. And kudos to him to get signed last week because he really started the domino of all these second round picks to get signed. And it was like a weird issue with guaranteed money because there was a guy in Houston and a guy in Cleveland that got guaranteed money contracts for second rounders. No, that's never a thing. This guy, Alfred Collins, he got 88% of his whole rookie contract guaranteed. That's unprecedented. So now
that's awesome, though.
People are trickling in and signing the second round. So shout out to him and his agent. They kind of set the tone. But at the same time, now he needs to prove himself because second round pick, he's supposed to be a starter, right? And can he be the guy to help improve the run defense? I don't know, because run defense was bad last year. There's a lot of questions on this team. And then safety.
CJ West, him, friggin' our middle linebacker, Nick Martin's expected to be a starter this year.
Michael Williams, right?
Michael Williams expected to be a starter this year. Like Sigil, he might be a backup. Upton Stout.
I mean, I think they have potential, but at the same time, like, we just don't know. I know I'll be excited next week when we go to training camp and it's going to be like, okay, we'll get to see them. But training camp's one thing, then the preseason, and then the game.
Still got to be healthy enough to get through training camp, too. That's the biggest thing.
And again, these guys, if they're going to be playing at a higher level, and they're thrown to the wolves, as rookies, it's going to be tough on them. And they hit that rookie wall. So it's a young team. I think they can win a lot of games, but I think I'm tempering my expectations this year. I don't want to sit here and say, oh, I got Super Bowl. If they do, that'd be amazing. But you got to be realistic and realize this team's going to take some lumps because it's a young team. They had to retool. They had to I wouldn't say rebuild, but retool. They lost a lot of guys and they're trying to get young and shed the cap. And, they had to pay Purdy. And again, now they might have to be in a situation where they're faced with where they didn't want to with Juwan Jennings. It's uncomfortable. And I mean, at this point, it's kind of like, damn, do we pay him more than we expected? Like a week ago, I was saying maybe you pay him 10 to 12. Now he might want more money because his leverage continues to grow. Now he could probably say, hey, man, have fun with what you got. Trade me or pay me, I don't know, 18 million. Like what's to say that his agent doesn't go to them and say, hey, you guys have a problem. Pay me X amount and they get it. So
especially if they start training camp and Pearsall's not there. And then another guy goes down, maybe Cowling or somebody.
Yeah. Can you imagine if somebody else? Oh, God.
If they're smart, they need to get in the negotiating room like yesterday and start negotiating before things get out of control in training camp. when the pads come on, because everything looks great when the pads are off. We talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
People talk about OTAs, guys looking great. Like every year I hear Trent Williams looks amazing in OTAs, and every year Trent Williams would misses 5, 6, 8 games. You know what I mean? So like, I don't care what guys look like in March and April. I care what guys look like opening day. Guys look like week 6, week 10, week whatever.
Well, that's why they go to training camp to prepare and get, up to speed and learn it and get your bodies hardened and stuff like that. But yeah, training camp day 1, you're not going to, oh my God, he's going to be the greatest. Unless there's been some exceptions. Like I'll say 2 years back, the year before Brandon Aiyuk signed his contract, this man had a generational training. Like I remember going to every day and I was like, bro, this guy, like you could just tell. I was like, he's going to be good. He's going to be good. You're like, oh my God, he's going to be good. And then Diamond Lenore too last year. I was like, oh, he's going to be good. Like you could just like see it. But most of the time, like most of these guys just go through motion. Like I remember last year, there was times where Juwan Jennings didn't even look that great in training camp. And then last year he came out and it was like, oh my God, what a season from Juwan Jennings. So, you know what I mean? So it's hit or miss. Training camp, you can't sit there and predict the whole season just off training camp. But that's how people do it. The beat writers, the Niner content creators, oh God. Like remember when Trey Lance, oh my God, Trey Lance, oh my God. Sam,
they were gobbling hard, dude. They were gobbling hard, yeah.
That's how it goes.
Trey Lance
couple questions I want to get to here. Peter Parker says, was there any news on how Ricky got hurt? No, they haven't said what. I know Kyle Shanahan speaks to a meeting on Tuesday, so we'll probably get some updates and stuff.
What's his name? Peter who?
Hey, Peter Parker.
Oh, geez. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Where am I here?
The only thing I know is last time they talked about Ricky Pearsall's injury it was a hamstring. That was a month ago. We don't know anything else. I don't know if it's still the same hamstring, if it's something else, but that's it.
I know that he said he'd rather have a potato next to Trent than Ben Barch. Yeah.
Oh my God, Ben Barch might be a potato.
It looks like he might be better having just somebody wearing a sack of potatoes like next to Trent.
Literally what we have, I guess.
Hey, I'm 45 years old. I'm pretty heavy right now because of my knee.
Can
so
you play O-line? You think you play?
I could probably I could push some people around. I'm 3+ right now.
I don't know if I'd want you. You're gonna cook your knee up, bro. With this
my knee's already
staff,
cooked.
With this 49ers strength and conditioning staff.
Let me ask you about that. That's one thing we seem to talk about every single year, and every single year, somebody gets let go or we bring in some new guy. Have they? I don't know. Are they any better?
The way I see it. What's that?
I said, have they gotten any better in their training staff, or is it the same people that were there last year?
I mean, they always change it. Yeah, I don't think they change it from last year. But this is what I said last year, and I'm going to say it again, and maybe it'll change this year. When I go, I'll see. But I just never noticed them stretching that much. I see that they don't. Maybe they're stretching behind the scenes in the locker room before they get up there. But I honestly, Aaron, I honestly don't see these guys stretching a lot. I really think that's just that simple, that they need to increase their stretching time. Unless they're stretching 30 minutes before they get out there. I don't know. I don't see all that stuff. But from what I see on a daily basis when I go to training camp, again, maybe during practice is different during the season. But from my experience, they don't stretch enough.
That's a huge problem because a lot of their injuries always seem to be the same ones: hamstrings,
soft tissue issues,
groins, ankles,
hamstring,
all the time. It's funny, I'm an older guy, so I remember football back in the early '90s and late '80s. And the one thing I don't understand is, I have a nephew who's about 30 years old that always talks about guys were bums back in the day. He were playing against plumbers and stuff. If you're talking about basketball,
yeah.
How is it that the game was more physical back then, okay? And now we have bigger, stronger, faster. We have all this technology, and yet guys are more hurt than ever before. Do you ever remember as a kid thinking about injuries in the 49ers?
It didn't seem like there was many.
We never talked about it.
I mean, there was injuries, but it never was like, I don't know. And also social media hypes, brings it to the forefront more, maybe. Yeah. But I feel like people played through injuries more. Like Ronnie Lott, bro, guy played through any injury.
That man has a missing piggy. When Jerry Rice got hurt that year against Tampa and blew his knee out.
Yeah, he came back.
That was huge because it was like, wow, Jerry Rice. Yeah, he came back against Denver that year and then broke his kneecap, and then he was out for the rest of the year.
Yeah. But he tore the thing about Jerry Rice is he tore his ACL. Nowadays, you tear your ACL, maybe a year, right? You might be gone. You're not playing again. Spent towards
Rice
ACL,
came back.
comes back after
Yep.
like I think it was 12 or 13 weeks.
Yeah, it was
I was
against
like,
Denver. That was the
yeah.
famous Bill Romanowski spit game. He spit in
Yeah. Can you
JJ Stokes'
imagine a
face.
guy coming back and within the same season on 20 ACL, bro?
They don't make them like that anymore. These guys, like, I can't tell you how irritated I would get when they would show that press box with all those players and they're all sitting there with
Oh
notebooks
my
and stuff.
God,
I'm just like,
yeah.
what the get out of
Like
here,
Kittle's
man.
there, CMC's there, like the whole like team is injured and they're up in the press box.
That
Oh
is
my
so
God.
man, all the money. That's how much payroll.
That's a
I
lot.
remember when I used to work at this one job, I used to have this one manager always go, smell that? I'm like, what? Payroll burning. I
Oh
was
my
like,
God. I think
exactly.
last year when that happened, I think there was a graphic that showed how much like how much money was sitting on the injury list, like or something. I can't remember. I think I posted
Oh
it.
man.
It was like it was disgusting. It was like Trent Williams, George Kittle, Debo Samuel, like all these guys. I was like, oh,
I love
like
Trent Williams to death, but I feel like the Niners need to make a plan after this season to go and move on from him,
we
or
need a contingency plan.
we need a contingency. We need to get first of all, next year's draft. I don't want to stockpile picks next year. I want to get a high level pick and maybe go up and do something like next year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go up and get
Like
an
a top
offensive
flight
tackle.
offensive line. Yeah. You need to get like the
Yes.
best tackle in the NFL in the draft. Yeah.
And if you can't draft them and that payroll money comes off the books for Trent, you got to go sign the best left tackle or one of the best left tackles in free agency. You have to do it. You have to pay that money, or you have
He's
to.
not going to be there forever. And as much as I love
him
Trent,
to death, but he's like an injury prone. He plays 11 games a year, dude. Every single year, it's 11 games.
That's the thing. I love Trent Williams, but I mean, he's older. He plays a demanding position, and he plays it amazingly. So yeah, he's bound to have a few games where he misses. Like he misses 3-4 games a year, and it sucks. But you're right. Like if you don't have a plan in place, like last year you had Jalen Moore was surprisingly well. I was like, oh, that actually played pretty good. Now he's not
crazy.
there.
He's on
so
the
if
Chiefs.
you don't have a backup tackle in mind, it's like, and like Andre Dillard is already on the PUP list. So it's,
of course,
it's not like the depth of this O line is masterful. It's like, okay, you have I mean, the starting lineup at O line is probably, I mean, it's just as good as it was last year because you have pretty much the same guys, except now your left guard's not there. You're trying to figure out that position. We expect Pooney to be better, and we know Trent Williams is great, but he's a year older. So then you have still Jake Brendel, and you still have Colton McKivitz. They're not going to get any better. Hopefully they don't get worse. They're going to be the same. So really the O-line, it really, if that left guard spot doesn't get better, your O-line might be worse than it was last year. So, and your backups, are they any better? Are they going to be good? Who knows? You don't want to get to that point. But, yeah, man, it's like they don't put an emphasis on the O-line. So, and Kittle's going to be a beast.
Debbie, it's like water is wet, sky is blue. Kittle is going to play his ass off. Like that's not.
He's going to have to play even harder, though, this year.
Yeah. I feel bad for Kittle sometimes because it's like he puts so much into his game. He plays with such passion. And, man, you know, last year was just a wow. I think it was like the Buffalo game. The season was over regardless, but that Buffalo game to me, I checked out. That
game was just demoralizing. And, you know, yeah, guys like Kittle, they play 100% all year now. I mean, his stats were insane last year. He was among, you know, the tight end leaders, right? That's why he got paid all that money, the extension to become the highest paid tight end in the league. Again, that guy was,
David.
I mean, he had a hell of a season on a 6-win season, and this guy was putting up better numbers than any tight end last year. It's amazing what he does, and it's just like, man, we're wasting his years. Yeah, George Kittle, David deserves a ring.
If there's one person that deserves a ring on this team, it's Kittle.
Oh yeah,
for everything he's done for this team, for this league, for and my internet is doing really bad tonight, guys. I haven't streamed in almost 2 months, and it picks tonight to suck.
No, you're good.
Unbelievable. Like it's bad enough nobody watches my channel, and then I gotta have crap internet to kick away the 4 people that watch every time. Like, his internet's bad. Yeah, like Kittle to me. It would be really sad if he ends up retiring without a ring. And I mean, it could happen. Maybe not, though. Maybe, you know, like we said, everybody's saying, you know, we're having an easy schedule this year. If the Niners stay healthy, their schedule is doable to get
mean, it's easy, but I still think it's 10 wins to
I
11,
still
maybe.
think it's a 10 or 11. Yeah, because you have a young defense. This defense is going to cost us games this year. I'm telling you.
I hate to agree with you, but the cornerbacks, the safeties, like they're unproven. I know they signed some guys like Jason Pinnock and Richie Grant, but are they
I watched
starters?
a lot of this last year with Fred Warner, always not
Yeah.
knowing what to do. I feel like I'm going to see a lot more of it this year.
I hope you're wrong. Like I hope Nick Martin shines, but it's a lot of pressure on all these starters.
Pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, man.
I wanted to bring up something that I saw in another stream, and I'll give credit to the guy. His name is Mike from a channel Nothing But Niners.
Okay.
He made a comment about Nick Bosa. I tweeted it, I retweeted it, and I said to myself, as much as I want to disagree with him, I feel like he has a point. He thinks that Bosa is kind of overrated. Like he's either really good or he disappears. They're like he's had some good seasons where he's been absolutely incredible. And Mike made it a comparison to his brother. Is he going to turn, or has he turned into Joey Bosa, where they were like pretty good in the beginning and then they just kind of become kind of like an afterthought? I'm not saying that that's where Nick Bosa is right now, but my issue with Nick Bosa is sometimes, and a lot of people say, oh, he doesn't have a lot of help. He's got no help. But it's like I see other guys on other teams with no help still wreck games. Myles Garrett comes to mind absolutely immediately.
I see that. I see people. I mean, I've seen people say that Bosa's overrated, and I could see why a lot of people will compare it to his brother. I mean, they play very similar. But the thing about his brother, which I don't think Nick Bosa is going to happen, his brother gets hurt a lot. He's like missed many games these last couple of years.
It's already hurt him Buffalo.
I mean, Bosa's missed games here and there, but I feel like he takes care of his body a little bit better than his brother.
Agreed.
I think he's always been in better shape, peak physical shape. I don't necessarily think Bosa's overrated. I feel like it's a tough situation because the 49ers run a weird system, this, wide nine. And it's like the way that they run it, you do need to have another guy. Like maybe if you put Bosa in the system that Myles Garrett plays or TJ Watt, could be different. But at the same time, also, you watch these Niner games, you see Nick Bosa get held and doubled. They don't really call that stuff on him. I feel like if anything, I feel like Nick Bosa isn't respected in the league because he doesn't get those calls. And I feel like that maybe frustrates him. And then he gets tired through the game. I'll say this.
He's not a guy that complains a lot too.
He doesn't. And then he gets frustrated. I think he mentally gets frustrated and he keeps it internalized. Like he's not a very vocal guy. He's a chill, monotone guy. I don't like the way they played me today. How Bosa is, but I don't think he tries to voice that and he lets it eat him inside. And then I think it tires him out through the game because there's one thing I'll say. Nick Bosa, amazing shape. This guy's just pure 100%
man.
Like amazing. Muscle mass. But I do think he gets tired as the game goes because of all the double teams. And maybe some of these other guys don't. And I think that's where it comes. Because I feel like this last year, Bosa didn't take over games in the fourth quarter, and that's what you need from your star defensive end. And I get it. Once he got paid, everybody expects him to go out there and get 20 sacks. But I feel like at the same time, there's a target on his back. But I mean, I can see where people are coming for saying he's overrated because he's not getting the numbers. But I will say, I'm one of the people that say he doesn't have enough help. Now this year, okay, you got him Mikael Williams. Okay, you got him CJ West. You got him Alfred Collins. You got him Bryce Huff. And you still have Samo. Now, if this year he's not getting you at least 15 sacks, then we might need to have a conversation.
I can agree with that. It's I guess what when you get everybody gets paid, maybe it's just my old manism because I'm an older guy, but like when you see the amount of money that these guys get paid, you automatically assume that they got to become like
they got to be stars, man. They got to be putting up like for Bosa. He needs to be putting up 20. I get it. 100%. Like, look, Brandon Aiyuk, he hasn't lived up to his contract. So people are mad. And Bosa, he should be getting 20 sacks. Now, last year he got hurt.
My biggest issue with Brandon Aiyuk, this is one of my biggest issues. I don't think he's a leader.
No, he's not.
He doesn't. The one thing you can say about Brock Purdy, and people can make fun of him all they want, talk about this and talk about that. He doesn't deserve to be paid. He's an absolute leader on this team. Fred Warner, leader. Bosa, quiet leader.
He's a leader, though. Yeah, he's a leader.
Okay. Brandon Aiyuk, he's a crybaby. He's kind of a crybaby. He's moody. He comes off disengaged, disinterested. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
He's got a poor attitude. I feel like he's just, I don't know, man. He's weird. He's not vocal enough.
His game doesn't constitute his attitude.
No,
He's
I
a
agree.
good receiver, but as my brother, me and my brother, because my brother's a Dolphins fan, he has his own issues to worry about because that team is a mess from the top down. But the one thing he always says to me about Aiyuk, he's like, he's not great. So why does he act that way? I'm like, great question.
But I mean, most wide receivers are going to sit there and tell you they're the great. That's a wide receiver mentality. I think that's where it comes from. But you're right. He doesn't carry himself like Justin Jefferson or one of these other guys. I get it, man. I think that he really got himself over his head because he was gloating and saying he wants to be paid. He's a Ferrari. I think he should have just been a little bit more humble, a little bit more quiet.
That whole thing last year with the kicking the shorts off during training camp, that to me showed an immature child.
Oh man, that was bad.
Who just got paid and is acting like a petulant bitch.
Yeah, I know.
You're a leader.
You know what's funny? When that happened last year, I remember saying this, going like, they should have paid JJ the amount of money they gave.
Yeah.
I think I was looking back on my old tweets. I was like, oh shit, I did tweet that. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and then he did get his extension. So this year I was like, oh, come on, JJ, you got paid. But now looking at it, maybe they should have paid Jennings the higher money because he didn't complain. He goes out there and plays tough. So I want to go back to the whole Juwan Jennings thing. How much do you think they should pay Juwan Jennings? Yeah, why did Kyle run upstairs and he should have traded him to the Steelers, bro? Joe, I agree.
I don't get the fascination that Kyle has with Brandon Aiyuk. I don't see it.
So what do you think Juwan Jennings is worth? How much should he? I mean,
I would say
you're talking about it.
I'd say $15 million a year.
Now you want 50? Oof.
Yeah.
For a wide receiver 3?
He should be a wide receiver. He's going to be a wide receiver 2 on this team this year.
On this team, yeah. But here's the thing. Do you think he's wide receiver 2 or 1 on another team?
No, because he's slow. He's really slow.
That's the thing. So, but on the Niners, his value is more. So,
but you can say the same thing about Brock Purdy. In this system,
yeah,
he's worth the money. And someone else's system who's not friendly to his strengths and his weaknesses, I think a lot of people, because they're going to be like, oh, wow, you've been really high on Brock. I'm still high on Brock. But I'm just saying, Brock is good for what we run.
Maybe you're right. Maybe he does deserve the 15 on this team.
On this team, he deserve it. On another team, he's a wide receiver 3. He's just molasses slow.
He's a hard worker. I know he's a gritty guy. I get all that stuff. He's a blocker. But how much more years does he have left in those legs? How many more years do you give him on an extension? Because he's 29. So he's gonna be 29 this year. You give him a 2-year deal.
I would give him a 3-year deal. And
3 years.
I would front load it with.
I wouldn't give him more than 2. I wouldn't give
only
him more
2.
Than 2. Yeah.
Papa's kind of on the same wavelength. He's worth 3 years, 65, 45
man. I do think at this point, though, he's leveraged himself. I think he's going to get paid next week.
Yep.
But I would do a 2-year extension. Because he's still got 1 more year on his last extension.
I just don't understand why these guys don't honor contracts like everybody else does. Like, I don't know.
That was my whole beef last week when we talked about it with Larry is, okay, here's where I was coming from. He signed a 2-year extension last year. And now after 1 year, he had a heck of a season. And it's because he was thrown into the fire, right? BA was hurt. Debo was hurt. He stepped up admirably. I give him his flowers. We all know how good JJ was. But after 1 year, you march into the office and you say, hey, I want more money because I played great. What's to stop all these players now from signing 2-year contracts and then after the first year, going to the front office and say, hey, pay me more money because I exceeded expectations. That's the only thing is it's going to set a precedent. It's going to.
How much is it? Is his agent and it's him? You think it's him?
It's probably his agent telling him, hey, look. But I feel like at some point too, maybe JJ. I feel like most of these players, they feel it in their heart too. They're like, hey, man, their agent tells them, yo, you could get more money. Yeah, you're probably right. I should be worth more money because at the same time, he's 28, right? He doesn't have many more years to get like a big contract. This is going to be the time now. He can take
this is essentially his last big deal. Yeah. I want to remind all young fans who love this team. Niners lost 2 straight years to the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe it was the first or second year. Cowboys win the Super Bowl. Jerry Rice hit the Pro Bowl. Jerry Rice comes up to Michael Irvin after Irvin just won, and he said, I already started training. Jerry Rice, the season ended, and this man was already training for the following season.
He's a beast,
and then there's Brandon Aiyuk. When I look at wide receivers, I have a certain level of expectation. If Jerry Rice played today, he'd be the highest wide receiver in the NFL, and it wouldn't even be funny. You know what I mean?
He's so good, bro. But someone in the chat said he's not from this planet. He really isn't, and like that's the type.
I saw it earlier. No, Jerry Rice was
the type of guy that he came back.
Two of my favorite athletes of all time, Raj, Michael Jordan, Jerry Rice.
Yeah, me too. But dude, growing up in the 90s, those
mentality.
I had a poster of Jerry. I had a poster of MJ. Steve Young too. That's my guy. But
Joe was my guy. Sorry, I'm not a Steve guy.
Jerry Rice and freaking Michael Jordan, bro. I had the merch, the shoes, the hair, the this, that, blah, blah, blah. It was everything. Now that's
why those guys are great, though.
Yeah,
because their legacy, their passion for the game it's an obsession. It's almost like it's imbalanced. They're so imbalanced about how much they care about the profession that other things, like a lot of these athletes, some of them have absolutely horrendous personal lives because when they're in their playing years, they obsess on is what they're doing and how well they're playing and taking care of their body. They're like everything else just goes to the side. But man, when I think of guys like Aiyuk and the way he acted in training camp last year, and then to have the season he did, and then he got hurt.
I mean, it's kind of karma, maybe. I hate to say that, but maybe it's karma. That's tough.
I don't believe in it.
I hope he bounces back, but I don't know if he's going to bounce back. That's the thing. Even when he comes back, is he going to be the same caliber? It's hard to say. He's not going to have training camp again this year. So it's I don't know, man. That's why I think Juwan Jennings, his leverage is at an all-time. He's never going to have as much leverage in his entire career, man. He's going out there. He's making the most of this situation. So
I would love. I mean, if you want to talk about a player on this roster who is kind of like Jerry Rice to me, that I wish he would slow down a couple steps and not burn himself out is Christian McCaffrey.
No,
he's one of those obsessive he
works himself too hard.
Yeah, and he gets hurt because of it sometimes. I think he hurt himself last year because of how hard he worked.
Well, that's what his dad was saying. Remember, there was an interview, I can't remember. He says he just trained so hard. But the thing about Christian McCaffrey is this year, and me and Larry were talking about it, is as much as I love him, they need to not give him as many carries.
Right.
He needs to be limited a little bit. You have other running backs.
Yes. Him and Bobby Turner need to cut this. Well, if it ain't broke, why would I stop giving him carries? Oh, I don't know. So we can have him in
so we can have him
16
towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is, okay, if you're going to give him carries, make them meaningful carries. Don't give him the halfback dive for 2 yards.
Don't give him goal line. Don't give him goal line carries.
Well, no, just halfback dive on third on short in the middle of the field. That's
everything needs to be
bad
away.
Because when you go up 1 yard, 2 yards, and you're getting those meaningless carries, you know how many people are falling on him and falling on his leg and he's getting up from under the pile. All that stuff adds up, and that's those are the things that can cause injuries. Let Garendo, let one of you have 50 other running backs. Let them take the halfback dive for 1 yard.
You're gonna get a UFDA that's gonna be awesome this year.
Yeah,
like always, he's gonna end up shining.
Yeah, let him take the 1 yard dives.
Yeah, that's why you have no offense, but if you're gonna, that's how it works in the NFL.
Jordan James, rookie, right? The rookie they got, Jordan James. You know what? Welcome to the NFL. You're gonna do our halfback diver.
You're gonna run a lot of 1 yard plays into a bunch of people.
Lot of halfback dives.
Your
ankles
are probably going to be jacked, but that's all right.
You're going to have to be in that sauna every fucking day. You know why? Because we need to keep CMC healthy. Welcome to the NFL, Jordan James.
I just don't understand this obsession, and it goes back to the Mike Shanahan days. Look at the career of Terrell Davis.
That
man got ran. You guys all have been on the expressway before. You see when the big trucks blow their retreads, boom, and they pop. That was his legs and his knees because he was ran to hell. And he
was so good. They ran him 35 times a game.
That man had it was the best running back for 5 years.
Dude, he was so good.
Beat.
Back when fantasy football, back in those days, I had Terrell Davis on my team, and he was him. Like Priest Holmes. There were some guys back then. It was
Priest Holmes. Oh, I forgot about Priest Holmes. He was good.
There were some players that you're just like, oh my, Edgerrin James. But Terrell Davis, the stats he would put up, it was like if you had him on your team, you're going to win fantasy football back then.
Niners have had some good running backs in their day. Charlie Garner was pretty damn good running back.
Charlie Garner was good. Garrison Hurst. I was sad when Garrison Hurst got injured that year against the Falcons, man.
Yep. That was a whole dirty bird.
Oh, yeah. We would have won the Super Bowl that year. I feel like we would have won because Atlanta got trounced.
Yeah. I think it's I feel like the Niners the last like 25, 30 years, like the first from like 82 to 95, they were in the Super Bowl like every other year, right?
Yeah.
And from 95 till now, it's been like the reverse Buffalo Bills. Like we become
they always have adversity in the division round or something. It's like
we become we're like sad sacks now. Like
it would be one bad play, one bad injury. Like Jaquiski Tart, like it always was like one pick. Kyle Williams, like all these.
Weird Terry Kirby. I remember Terry Kirby.
Yeah, I remember him.
He ran upright. He ran straight. He was from the Dolphins. I remember Terry Kirby.
Yeah, he kind of played like Mike Alstott a little bit.
Yeah, I was a big Terry Kirby guy, but he's not a number one back. He is a
He was a good fullback. He was a fun fullback though. He was good to have. Kevin Barlow.
Barlow. I actually had his jersey. Don't ask me why.
Oh, wow.
There was a point in time where there was no jerseys to buy if you were a 49er fan. None.
Really?
Yeah, I went through about a 10-year window where I bought nothing. The last two jerseys I own, or the last jersey I own back in like 2002 was a Jeff Garcia.
Yeah, Jeff Garcia, Terrell Owens, you got those ones. And then I remember I got Julian Peterson, the linebacker. Oh, I love that guy. And then he went to the Seahawks.
I have three Reebok Authentics in my closet that were from the last year Reebok had them before they went to Nike. I have Vernon Davis.
Oh, yeah.
I have Patrick Willis. And I have Frank Gore, nice red burgundy jersey.
The maroon one, yeah. I remember
I'm just so fat now. I can't fit in anything anymore because of my knee. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna try to get out there the remainder of this summer and try to lose some weight, man. But like, I can't even wear those authentic jerseys anymore. It's so sad. Anything else you got going, man?
Yeah. So let's talk about this one. We didn't get to it. So earlier today, the 49ers released George Odum, safety George Odum. Right. Yesterday, he was placed on the NFI list, so the non-football injury list. And remember, we talked about how the NFI list is an injury away from the team. So Ian Rappaport, he kind of updated this. So we found out that he was released from the team, right? People are like, why? What happened? Now, he had like a knee issue a couple months ago. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was a knee issue because Kyle Shanahan had said, it's a knee. He'll be cleared. According to Ian Rappaport, this is what he said. 49ers special team standout George Odum, a surprising release earlier today, underwent elbow surgery last month from an off-season injury. He's placed on NFI. So that's why he's placed on NFI, because of elbow surgery. Now, he has a 3-month recovery time. He should be ready 6 to 8 weeks from now, likely to sign midseason. So if the 49ers need to bring him back, it'll be midseason. But that is why he was placed on NFI, because he had a elbow surgery. Obviously, it's away from team activities and facility. So that's something they don't tell us all this stuff. Like, how I'll be all right. And then you get a surgery. I mean, that happened within the last month. So it's a crazy situation. I think George Odum was a good special teams guy. He was all pro. But they signed this offseason, if you remember, they signed Saran Neal. I think that's going to be his replacement. And the 49ers got a new special teams coordinator. He brought in his guys. So it's not too surprising they'd release him if he got hurt, because Brandt's like, hey, we brought in our guys. So I got a guy.
We got a new punter. Cool. We have a new long snapper.
Yeah.
If I would love for us to have a new kicker, but I have a feeling push comes to shove.
I can't wait to get Jake Moody content next week. Training camp. I'm going to do it. I can't wait to get that viral.
Yeah, tell everybody what you're doing. I mean, they already know, they watch your channel, but I know you're going to training camp.
Yeah, training camp, baby. Those tickets were the hardest tickets to get. Oh my God. Like literally every year, they're usually tough to come by, but I usually have a way to get them because I know season ticket holders. They did season ticket holders dirty this year. So they let season ticket holders only get tickets for one. You can get 4 tickets, but for one day. So you have like a family 4-pack of tickets.
That's so dumb.
For one day. So normally I have a person or 2 people. They'd buy tickets throughout the weeks, and then I'd pay them back or whatever. This time, if I had 2 or 3 people, I could only get 2 or 3 tickets from them. So it wasn't like they can go and buy all the tickets. And they were pissed because they like to go to multiple days. They can only go to one day. So then general admission tickets come out. They sold less than 5 minutes. People that bought them are now selling them on StubHub for $350. Those tickets were $20. So luckily, I know some people. I was able to get some tickets. I'm still looking for all the days. But yeah, I'll be at training camp next week. And,
Also, way 973 says if I was house cleaning, Jake would have been gone. I think that's like pretty much everybody. I don't think there is one fan on this fan base that feels any type of sympathy for Jake Moody. I hate to say it. Probably a really nice guy, but I don't care. Make kicks when they matter or get off my team.
We'll see. We got the kicking battle, right? Off-season kicking battle. I can't wait.
Papa J, what the hell? 300?
Yeah, dude.
That's weird. I'm going to have to ask around because I live in Rochester, New York, and Bill's training camp is near my old job. So I work at a local grocery chain that is connected with the Bills called Wegmans, or I used to work there. And their training camp is right near that area. So you'll see a lot of Bills fans come into that or Bills players come into that grocery store like after training camp and stuff, buy food or whatever for their dorm or whatever and stuff. So I would love to ask someone who's connected with the Bills. First of all, I got to check around. Are there Bills content creators on YouTube? Does anybody know?
I'm sure there is.
I would love to.
There's a content creator for every team. I'm sure
they would have to have a similar thing with you. Like they would have to get a group of tickets for a certain amount of days. You can't go day by day if you're updating content on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Like
crazy.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
Anything else, man?
That's about it. I'm just excited to go to training camp and see.
I'm excited that training camp is here, bro. Football season will be with us before you know it. September will be here. So
Tuesday, Kyle Shanahan addresses the media, and we get to find out.
Yeah.
What happened to Ricky Pearsall?
I'm sure Kyle will be so giving on the details.
Won't he?
No, he won't. But everybody in the chat, thanks a lot. It's been a long time. Thanks for supporting the live stream with me and Raj. Sure, we'll do something in the future. But until next time, everybody stay safe and healthy. Go Niners. And we'll talk to you later. Peace.
Peace.